Okay, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Distributing. Oh, wow, that's... Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a first impressions and review on Lys Beuty, which is a new clean brand at Sephora. It is the first clean at Sephora black owned beauty brand, and she came out with an amazing array of products for her launch. Today we'll be trying out the foundation, the setting powder, the bronzer, and the blush all together, and I can't wait to tell you guys how the products apply and wear. We'll also be doing an eye look with the REPHR Sight palette by Raw Beauty Kristi, which is what I'm wearing right now. So yes, I'm super excited to show you guys everything that I got. If you're excited for the video, please give it a thumbs up before you leave. Also, don't forget to please subscribe to my channel if you're new here. My name is Patty and I would love to have you over. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm super excited because I am finally getting to review Lys Beuty. This is Sephora's first clean at Sephora black owned brand, and I am super excited to finally have gotten my hands on these. I ordered them when they released last week. Today's Thursday for me. They arrived yesterday morning. However, yesterday I was working my full-time job, so I could not get to it, but here it is. So let's go ahead and see what the claims are on these products. I did find out that the brand owner is the former vice president of marketing for Pure Cosmetics, and now she has her own brand. So how freaking cool is that? Oh, let me show you what I bought. I bought the Lys Beuty Triple Fix Serum Foundation in the shade MN1, and I got 3 complexion products. I got their translucent powder in the lightest shade. I got the cream blush in the shade Confident, and I got their powder in the shade Harmony, which is their medium shade. Alright, so the Lys Beuty foundation is a luxuriously clean skincare infused serum foundation with buildable light to medium coverage. It has a natural finish and it is infused with Indian ginseng, which is a powerful herb that combats skin stress and visible signs of aging. It has turmeric, which has antioxidant protection and it brightens the skin and soothes the skin, and then hyaluronic acid, which is going to hydrate the skin. So this already sounds amazing to me. And again, the whole line has the like clean at Sephora stamp, which means that it's free of like parabens and a bunch of other stuff that you don't want to have in your makeup. They have like a very specific list of ingredients that you can't use in order to be clean at Sephora. So the translucent powder is going to blur the skin, lock complexion products in place while absorbing excess oil with a natural matte finish. It has niacinamide, green tea extract, and sodium hyalurate. The bronzer is a clean, talc-free, buildable matte bronzer that sculpts, defines, and livens up the complexion with a silky smooth formula. And it has the same 3 highlighted ingredients as the translucent powder. And finally, I got the blush, which I'm looking at the Sephora website right now, and it is out of stock in every single shade. So that is so exciting. I mean, not for you guys if you want to buy it, but like for the brand owner, because she just launched, you know? Hopefully they'll be back in stock soon. It is a clean, high pigment, non-greasy, satin to matte blush with a buildable, creamy formula that gives skin a natural flush. This one has kaolin clay, which reduces the appearance of pores and limits excess shine. It has avocado oil and vitamin E. So not only is it clean at Sephora, but every single product has amazing, good for your skin ingredients. So that is really exciting. Now, before I get into the Lys Beuty, I'm going to do my eye makeup. And for that, I want to use the REPHR Sight palette from ColourPop and Raw Beauty Kristi. So if you guys want to skip just to the Lys Beuty part of the video, I'm going to put a timestamp right here. Skip to that and we'll start applying the Lys Beuty makeup. But if you want to stay for the eyeshadow looks, then just keep watching. I've been feeling like I needed to do more looks with this palette, so here we are. Let me just get my hair out of my face real quick. I slept with my hair in a braid, so it's like a little bit curly right now, but it didn't fully dry, so it might not last long. Okay, let's get on with the eyeshadow. I'm going to use my Mario eyeshadow primer, and I like to just mix these 2 shades. I know you're supposed to like sculpt your eye with the darker one, but I don't find that it makes much of a difference, so I just like to mix the 2 together. And I have my number 16 brush, and I grabbed this color right over here. And I'm going to start building the crease of my eye with it. And I'm going to say it right now before we go too deep into this eye look. I want to keep it natural. So we'll see how that goes. Next, I'm going to use the color Puffball. And I switched to my REPHR number 15 brush. Let's do a halo eye. I'm going to do it on the inner corner too. Next, with my REPHR number 1, I'm going to grab the color Fiddlehead. And I'm going to add it to the outer and inner corners of my eye just to darken things up a little bit more. And this is as dark as we are going to go because, like I said, I don't want to make this too dramatic of a look, you know? I think in the middle I want to use the color West Coast. And this is such a beautiful foiled gold shade. And with a little bit more Fiddlehead, I'm just going to blur any edges I might have created. So just run it through the edges of the gold, even the ones on top here. This is going to be what I have for the top of the eye as of right now. Let's go ahead and start using the Lys Beuty items, and then we'll finish up the under eye. Here's the absolutely stunning packaging. I love rose gold, and this has such a beautiful rose gold cap and rose gold letters. Love the bottle, and I also love the concept of like everything is a triangle in her brand. I think it's so freaking cute. Let's go ahead and unbox everything. It says confidence without compromise and love yourself XO. Alright, so here is the blush. I'm obviously going to tell you guys absolutely everything, and unfortunately my blush came a little bit defective, so the glue is like not stuck down all the way, which is like not a huge deal honestly, but I wanted to note that. I'm gonna have to glue it back in there because I was just trying to put it back and it like keeps coming off. Thankfully it's not falling. There's a little bit of a difference in the packaging. This is the blush packaging and this is the bronzer packaging right here. The bronzer did not have any issues, and this is the color that I got it on. And this right here is the translucent powder, so I guess the powders come with this type of packaging, and maybe the creams come with the more matted packaging. I didn't get the Lys Beuty primer because it didn't say it was for dry skin. It said it was for all skin types except for dry on the Sephora website, so I thought, why ruin a good thing? It's not for me. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Tatcha primer that I absolutely love and works great for my dry skin, and blur out all of the pores. And let's go ahead and use the Lys foundation. I really hope that the color I got for myself is a good one. Yeah, that should work. That should work. I'm going to use my Love is the foundation brush from IT Cosmetics. I definitely like that color a lot. So far the coverage is really nice. I would say it's on the light side of medium coverage, but it did cover all of my redness, so that is great. I don't know that this brush specifically is the best way to apply it because it's making it bunch up, which is going to make it look a little streaky. So I'm going to also go over with a sponge just in case. Yeah, I feel like the brush is making it look a little bit streaky in some areas. I'm just gonna go wash my sponge really quickly. Okay, I'm back. So I'm just gonna go over everything with this sponge. It's taking away some of the coverage, but it is also taking away the little streaks that I could see. So I'm going to just probably apply a little bit more to make up for that. Yeah, I think that the sponge might be the best way to go with this one because I already like it even more. And the color I chose was Perfection. I'm always so happy when I can guess my correct shade online. Alright, here we go. Much better. Let me lower the light so you guys can see in a lower light setting how everything looks. I'm much happier with this than with the brush. Okay, here it is. It has a beautiful, I would say natural to luminous finish, and you can still see like my freckles through, but you don't see any redness coming through this foundation, and my skin still looks like skin, which is the most exciting and important thing for me because I love when my makeup makes my skin look better rather than look makeupy on top of my skin. Here's a closer look. Let's do some concealer. I have my YSL Discontinued color corrector here that I'm going to use first, and I'm going to blend it in with my sponge. And then I'm going to use my full cover concealer in number 2. And again, just blend it all in. I use my YSL concealer because I feel like that's the best one at not giving any texture to my under eyes. And since I'm going to try this translucent powder to set my under eyes with, I wanted to test it with my favorite concealer for like creasing in texture to like give it its best chance. I love the Pat McGrath concealer too, that is also a favorite, but since it is a little bit thicker than this one, it can sometimes still crease like a teeny tiny bit. So let's go ahead and use my translucent powder. Oh my god, I do immediately see the blurring effect, so that is very exciting. And I like that I'm building it up and it's not like accumulating or bunching up or like being too much underneath my eyes. I think I'm gonna set half of my face so that you guys can see the difference. So obviously this part of my face is going to reflect the light less now because I did set it a little bit. But let me show you in low light too so that you guys can really see. I mean, hopefully you can see, I feel like my pores right here look diminished. It looks a little bit more blurred, which is always exciting compared to like the part that is still not set with any powder. Okay, I feel like this setting powder has immediate approval from me. I really like the way it looks, and it looks so lightweight underneath my eyes. I love it. Now we get into the powder bronzer cream blush dilemma again, which like I never know what to do first. I'm gonna go with bronzer first this time. We'll see. Using my REPHR number 24 brush. Okay, I'm scared. Distributing. Okay, it's pretty pigmented, so I'm distributing and blending because I took a little bit too much for starters. It's always tricky when you first apply a powder product and you don't know how much pigment it's going to have because you don't know how much to press your brush into the pan. But if they're easy to blend out, like this one is proving to be, then it's not a big deal because you can always soften it and like distribute the amount that you grab from the brush. The color Harmony is the one I chose, which is their medium shade, and I do really like the way it's looking on my skin tone. I'm finding it a little bit easier to kind of like tap this bronzer on. I'm grabbing a smaller brush and I'm just going to run it through the sides of my nose. And with that same small brush, I'm going to go to the edges of the eyeshadow here, and I'm going to make it mix into my face basically. Extend the eyeshadow right back here to my temples. I'm grabbing a little bit of powder on my sponge here and I'm just going to do one of those. I don't know if it was that I did the most with this bronzer or if it's just like not my favorite bronzer formula, but I feel like this looks so muddy right here. See, it's like a little bit muddy at the moment. Alright, blending it with the Beauty Blender is helping a little bit. Yeah, that already looks a little better. Okay, so let's do this blush. And I'm just going to get it with the Beauty Blender as well. And I'm going to do my cheeks and blend it back. Oh wow, that's pigmented. That is very pigmented, Patricia. Damn. Okay, whatever's left, I'm just going to distribute onto this side. That was a lot of blush. Like, even my remainder is like a little bit much. Wow. Okay. I can fix this. I can fix this. This is great because this just means that it's going to show up on so many skin tones. But if you have fair to light skin like me, you need to be super careful with it because, as you can see, a little bit goes a very long way. By the way, layered on top of the bronzer beautifully. Okay, so after all is said and done, I think it looks really good. Let me show you with the low light and everything. See the bronzer? We no longer think it's a problem. It actually looks pretty nice. And I do really like that the blush has a really pretty natural finish. Alright, so this is what everything is looking like. Nothing's exaggerated right now. My reflection on the mirror and the monitor look the same right now. This is like an accurate representation of this makeup. I feel like sometimes I can drive myself a little crazy with the low light and the highlight and whatever, but you guys like to see everything, so here it is. So next I'm going to go ahead and do my Charlotte Tilbury highlighter and just put it on the high points of my cheekbone. To finish up my under eye, I'm going to use this color right here on my REPHR number 3 brush right underneath my eyes. And I'm going to grab this color Old Growth with a fluffy brush and just blend that out. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter on the inner corner. And I've been obsessing over this eyeliner from Chanel because it is perfect. The color is 944 and it's like a really dark forest green shade. And I'm going to use it today again in my waterline. These last super long on the waterline too. They are not playing with these. Alright, so this is what we're looking like so far. Let me go ahead and do my mascara and I'll be back for some lipstick. Back with mascara on, and I use the Mascara Primer from Chanel with my favorite, my Pat McGrath mascara. And look at how good my lashes look. I'm impressed. I really like this combination. I'm going to go ahead and do some setting spray. And for lipstick, I'm going to do my double-ended Chanel lipstick in the color Tender Beige. Okay, lipstick on, and this is what everything looks like. Let me lower the light one more time. I really like the glowy finish that everything has. That Charlotte Tilbury highlighter looks amazing. And then my bronzer, blush, everything is looking really nice. So far, I have to say I really like the foundation. Definitely applied with a sponge rather than a brush. When I applied it with the brush, I was not loving it. But after I went over it with a sponge, it just turned out amazingly. So what I do is I'll wear it throughout the day. It's taken me a little while to like film this video. I think I started probably around noon and it's now like 2:16. So I'll wear it for a good 8 to 10 hours, I think, and I'll do some check-ins and tell you guys how everything is looking on my face. So far though, first impressions, very impressed. I showed you guys every single little detail of an issue that I had with these products, but overall though, like, we're looking good. So I'll see you guys later. Okay, it is now 9:49, several hours later, and I came to do a little checking. Everything looks divine, except I do look a little bit on the dewy side, like the extra dewy side. You can see here like my forehead, my cheeks, like I'm super shiny. I haven't been doing much, just kind of like sitting downstairs. I edited this video and whatnot, and I'm going to go back with the translucent powder and touch up a little bit, and that should solve my problems. However, I do have dry skin, and so if you have normal or oily skin, I don't know if this will be your favorite foundation to wear. I did wear the Tatcha primer and not the primer that was launched with this foundation, which the primer that was launched with this foundation was meant to control shine. So maybe if you wear a mattifying primer, you won't have this problem. I personally, because I'm so dry, don't necessarily have anything against it. Alright, so as you can see, after I touched up with some powder, I am back to looking normal. And still pretty much loving everything about this makeup. I look very natural, which is what I feel like I care about most. So I'll see you guys in a few more hours. 12:47 now, almost 1 o'clock. So we've had this foundation on for a good 10 to 11 hours. And after I retouched a few hours ago, I have not retouched any further. As you can see, I got a teeny tiny bit greasy again, but not a huge deal. I kind of like, I can live with this. I would say I'm not as greasy as I was before. Now, I do have dry skin for the most part, so I feel like this foundation would probably not work well for somebody that has combination to oily skin, unless you use a primer that is going to really help mattify your skin, because my dry skin looks really glowy with these products. So if you have combination or oily skin, I would probably be a little careful with these. Now, me personally, with my dry skin, I absolutely love this foundation. It is lightweight and it does the few things that are most important to me. It looks natural on my skin, it did not enhance any texture, and it covered my redness. I'm happy. With those three things, I am happy, and I think this is going to be one of my new favorite foundations for sure, because I really love this formula and how lightweight it was and how nicely it lasted on my skin, because yes, it got a little bit glowy, but it did not fade or get patchy or look uneven anywhere on my face. It looks just as like evenly covered as it did 11 hours ago when I first put it on, and that for me is a huge plus. It is definitely a very long-lasting foundation and it makes me look glowy, which I am all here for. The blush is super smooth and super pigmented. Note that I put it on after I had set my under eyes and I had put the powder bronzer on, and it worked amazingly on top of powder. It did not lift any of my makeup up, and it blended out beautifully. Even when I put a ton of it, like I did not need to put that much on this morning, I was able to very easily blend it out with the sponge by just picking up some of the product. And I thought that was incredible because it looks amazing over powder and it is a very versatile blush. I also really love the color that I got it on, which is the color Confident. I feel like this color is very universally flattering, and I know that this is going to work on a lot of different complexions because you guys saw how nice and pigmented this blush is. Definitely another product that worked amazingly for me today. As far as the powder is concerned, I am going to continue to use this powder not just to set my makeup but to set my under eyes with. This was a very seamless powder underneath my eyes. My concealer did not crease at any point throughout the day. It made everything stay in place without creasing. You guys saw that I was able to use it to touch up earlier as well, and it gave me absolutely no trouble, no texture, none of that. I will say I think that there is a limited amount of times that you can touch up your foundation with this powder before it starts looking a little bit cakey, because I was just setting it again a second time and now I do feel like it's kind of like building up a little thick on top of my foundation. But that's because like I look greasy, you know? If I would have maybe bought their primer or used a mattifying primer, I wouldn't have had this problem. But my dry ass did not imagine that this foundation could be as glowy as it turned out to be, which again, I absolutely love. Anyway, so this translucent powder is something else that I absolutely loved from this brand because it just blended everything out so seamlessly. You can use it to touch up. It is nice and compact, and it truly helped to make my under eyes not crease at all throughout the day whatsoever, and that on its own is like a huge accomplishment. So this under eye powder is amazing. Now, the one thing that I didn't absolutely love, and it's not that it's a bad product, it's that I have others that I like better than this one, was the bronzer. I did really like the medium shade that I chose, but I did find that when I first put it on my cheeks, it looked a little bit muddy at one point. And I mean, it's not a bad bronzer. I feel like out of 10, I would probably give it like an 8.5 to a 9. However, I do have bronzers that are a 10 out of 10, like my Charlotte Tilbury one, but it is not a bad bronzer. I just feel like I have others that I like a little bit better than this one. So, I mean, 3 out of 4 products were an absolute definite hit for me. I love the foundation, love the under eye setting powder, love the blush. So those are the products that I recommend from Lys Beuty to start off. I feel like this brand came out with a bang. The products are amazing. I love the aesthetic of them, and I am curious to continue to discover what else they come up with in the future. If you guys want to get any of the products that we talked about today, I'm going to have everything on my face linked down in the description box of this video. When you guys shop through my links, you are helping out my channel, and I really appreciate that. I really hope that you guys have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I love you all so much, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye!